In today's video, we're going to be going over several zones in Revelation WoW. Right here, you are seeing the Dustwallow Wilds. Yes, it has been renamed. It is no longer a marsh. It is a wildland, similar to how the Barrens is now called the Valley of Life. As you see, the entire area is full of overgrowth. You have bamboo, you have cherry blossoms, all sorts of various types of foliage. And then here you see the Ogre Encampment, Brackenwall Village. This is the Horde town, and they have the newer Ogre models there. The town itself looks a little different, but not quite, overhauled to the point that I would think like, oh wow, amazing. It just kind of looks okay. I do like the bridge that goes over the water right over here. It looks pretty cool. Other than that, the Alliance area of Theramore is pretty much the same. The guards will still kick your ass, which is why you see me going off the road here, because they do chase me and try to kill me a couple of times. But when I eagle-eyed up to Theramore, it looks pretty much the same, so I do not know if they plan on changing Theramore at all or what their plans are for it. But beyond that, there are the dragon areas. So the dragon areas, again, they're not really as overhauled as you would think, but there are tons of dragons flying all over the area, and they are very aggressive. Even though they are flying in the air, they will aggro you and attack you. Much easier on me as they are skull level and I am still low level. So just by sitting on top of this little hill here, one of them did manage to aggro onto me, and I had to run for my life before it kicked my ass. But the model itself, I believe these models are from Legion. They're like that, like Nordic kind of like sky dragon. I don't remember exactly what the model is called, but they are color changed to look like ember dragons. They have a more red tone. The area itself is still very dangerous, as you do have the dragonkin walking around and blowing fireballs at me and kicking my ass, including the crocodiles, who are also skull level to me. The only difference I see is that the area is just a little bit more purple where the dragons are supposed to be. The goblin town is there as well. And beyond that, I checked out the coastline. The coastline, again, doesn't look as changed other than the various different foliages. But now we're going to go to Redridge. Redridge is completely changed. Instead of it being a kind of autumn-looking mountainous town with a lake, it is a fell forest full of fell green trees, and it looks very sickly. But you will also notice that half of the map has been engulfed by the massive desert, which has taken over what used to be the Swamp of Sorrows, the Blasted Lands, and there's also like an empty zone, I believe, on the Eastern Kingdom's map, but all of that has been turned into what is now known as the Great Desert, which you'll see me running up here in a second on. But the Great Desert itself is going to be an endgame PvP zone with full looting capabilities. Now, just by walking into the desert is not going to mean instant death. When you first walk in, at least if you're within the Redridge mountain area, you will be safe, and it will even give you a warning that says that you are within a sanctuary area and cannot be killed. However, the further along you go into the desert, it will warn you, stating that you have now entered the PvP zone, and once you cross over that line, full looting PvP will be activated. So prepare to die if you happen to run into any level 60s out here, including NPCs. The NPCs are still not finished. This is an unfinished area, by the way, so everything you see here is still empty, and there's a lot of leftover NPCs like buried within the sands. You'll see in a second here that I completely get, jump scared by a swamp jaguar that jumps out of the sand. That kind of made me laugh a little bit, but anyway, the further along you go, you will notice that the desert is absolutely massive. Though it's not all desert, as I believe this is somewhat in the center of the desert, there is an oasis area. It's not as green and beautiful as the oasis areas in the Barrens, but it is a little bit of a respite from just seeing sand dunes everywhere. Now, I did go past this in my stream, and we found lots of very cool areas that, again, I wonder what it's gonna look like when it is all fully fleshed out, you know, filled with NPCs or just player amenities and such. But we find, you know, ruined areas that look like the Auchendoon from Outlands. It is pretty much empty aside from some horde tents here and there. We also found what could have been like a horde, I guess you could call it a fortress, with a lot of camps and tents and stuff everywhere. But there's more than just horde things out there, as further north as I explored, I found what looked to be like a treed, you know, wooded area behind a wall. Now, it didn't look like it fit into the desert, so I obviously had to go and explore it. And what I found within was the Exodar. You heard me right, the full Exodar within the Great Desert. I don't know what it's doing here and not on the island. We're probably gonna have to find that out as they add more custom quests. So I decided to go in. Now again, this is an unfinished area, so there are no NPCs. And at one point, as you'll see here, I get run up on by a GM who wonders how I got here. I guess he thought that I was not supposed to get here, but as it was caught fully on stream, I did not, you know, hack my way into this area. I just walked right up. Luckily, I talked it over with Rect, and it is completely fine. I did not get in trouble for this. But either way, it's showing you basically a sneak peek of what lies within the Great Desert. Now, I haven't fully explored the entire thing, but I really want to, and we will find out what lies within later on as we go through the Revelation WoW server. So until then, I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of Revelation WoW content, and I will be coming out with more zone preview videos in the future.